Hello everybody, welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we're doing another episode on the new Tardis mod. And today I'm actually going to show you how to fly the Tardis. Last episode, I showed you how to obtain a Tardis, and now, or a time ship, I guess that it's called in the mod. And this episode I'm going to show you how to actually fly it. So let's get right into it. So, uh, as you can see, so this is my TARDIS exterior. It's using the Steam exterior, and it is bigger on the inside, as you can tell. It's got the bigger on the inside effect. I'm just a little laggy right now, and if we step inside, this is the interior. I've got the fixed or like upgraded. I think it's called the fixed or the upgraded Steam interior or whatever. So keep in mind, depending on the interior, the console will look different. So there are multiple different console interiors, and they each have different controls. Well, they don't have different controls. The controls they just look different. So keep that in mind. Although for a trick that you can use if you're not sure, say if you're following this tutorial but you're not using the Steam interior, is by taking the manual, which can be obtained from how do you actually get this again? You can craft it with an exotonic circuit, which is crafted just like this. Or you can just trade it with the villagers, I think. Specific villagers. If you put it in your offhand, you can actually see what all the controls do. So I'm just going to go through all the different types of controls. And yeah. So starting with the front panel that you see as soon as you walk in, you have the communicator, the vertical land type, and the refueler. This, of course, enables and disengages the fueling protocols. This allows you to communicate, assuming you have it like fixed and upgraded. And the vertical land type will switch whether the TARDIS will rather land like on a higher part of the world or like a lower part of the world. So if you have it set to down, it'll probably be on like the like caves, mine shafts, or like just like the surface. If you set it to up, it'll usually the preference things like mountains, valleys, things like that. Over here we have the XYZ increment, so that actually links up to these. This is the X coordinate, Y coordinate, and Z coordinate uh, uh, incrementers. And as you can see, if you go ahead and right click it, by the way, these only work with the navcom. So for example, this is where we're currently headed to, negative 215.72.80. If we click it, they'll actually go up. And then this, the coordinate incrementer, changes how much they go up by. So for example, say we wanted to go to x 10,000, we could click it, and now it'll be going up by 10,000s. This is also the throttle, which when used in conjunction with the handbrake can allow the TARDIS to take off and land. Yeah. This is the stabilizers. I don't actually have the stabilizers installed, but these stabilizers, if you have them installed and upgraded and fixed, will actually allow will allow the TARDIS to fly itself. Now, do keep in mind that if you are having the stabilizers fly the TARDIS will actually not like you as much, and its mood will go down. This is not a tutorial for the mood, but just know that the stabilizers will make the TARDIS a little angrier, and you always want to have yourself on the TARDIS just to keep your TARDIS in a good mood, because sometimes if TARDIS is not in a good mood, it'll like it can not take you to where you want to go, or sometimes it can actually just kick you into the time vortex and get you killed. So yeah. So stabilizers, sonic port, where you can put in a sonic screwdriver. Uh yeah, just like that. And sonic screwdrivers and nothing else. Don't want to have too much fun here. And this is the door switch. So in the Steam interior, you always want to make sure the door switch is facing upwards like this, because if it's not, that means the door is open. If you fly with the door open, you'll get sucked into the time vortex and be teleported to a random part of the world. This is the exterior facing. Just changes where the exterior will land. This is the dimensional shifters, which change which dimension you're going to, so space, moon, overworld, nether, or end. Randomizer, which simply randomizes target coordinates. This is the handbrake, which should always be engaged, in my opinion. As you can see, you should always engage the handbrake. The handbrake, basically, if the TARDIS is like angry at you or its mood is down, sometimes it can just take off without you in the TARDIS and just leave. So the handbrake, if the handbrake is engaged, as you can see in the bottom left, handbrake engaged, handbrake released. You always want to have it engaged, in my opinion. just to make sure it doesn't go away. This is the telepathic panel, telepathic circuits. You can actually choose which biome you want to do. But just remember, it does have a range of 500 blocks. And if you shift right click it, you can actually connect yourself to the Tardis. And if you now were to grab, say, a bed, and just sort of plop this bed down wherever you'd like. I guess I'll just put it over here for now. Yeah, like there. And if you right click, it'll tell you how it's the TARDIS. So the TARDIS is feeling content. So it'll tell you how well it's feeling, if it's okay, if it's angry, if it's not. So yeah, and I do think that is all. Alrighty. So now I'm gonna tell you how to actually fly the TARDIS. So the first thing you want to do is choose a coordinate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hit the randomizer a few times. So I'll find a place that I like. You can change the exterior facing, and you can change the vertical land type. I guess I'll go up just because that'll look cool. Now, before you take off, the first step you always want to have to do is have the handbrake engaged. Even if you don't have it already, which I recommend you do just always, uh, you want to engage the handbrake. So that means handbrake engaged. And now that you've set your coordinates, you can actually use the throttle. And I didn't cover this because I wanted to cover it in detail now. The throttle depends on how fast the TARDIS is going. The more you right click it, the faster it goes. As you can see, it goes from the minimum to the maximum setting. Shifting right clicking it makes it go down. Uh, and the higher up it is, the faster the TARDIS goes. But also, if you are in unstabilized mode, the faster and harder events will come the higher up the throttle is. So I'm going to put the throttle just at the base one. You want to crank the throttle, and then to engage flight, again, make sure the doors are closed and hit the handbrake. And as you can see, these things will pop up at the bottom, where if you don't answer them in time, things can happen. So you gotta answer them in time. Some of them have multiple button commands, like the one I just did. You have to hit the door switch exterior facing. What does that mean? I wasn't reading it. I wasn't reading it. I wasn't reading it. A special drift. As you can see, uh, dimensional drift. You gotta hit the dimensional shifter. So they do kind of give hints in the name. Time winds. You gotta hit the throttle. So they give hints depending on where you gotta go or what you gotta press. Spatial drift. And this is unstabilized mode, by the way. Exterior bulkhead is failing. So you gotta do that. Vertical placement area, that is this one, the vertical land type. Low archon flow, that's the refueler. A dimensional drift, that is the dimensional shifters. Spatial drift, Z. Dimensional drift again. So just give me a second and I'll be back when this is all done. Okay, so I accidentally landed a little early, but it worked. So as you can see, now when I've landed, you have to shift right click the throttle to bring it all the way down, and that'll begin the rematerialization process. Unless of course you are using stabilized mode, in which case the TARDIS will materialize itself. But again, I do not recommend that because also it's just not very fun. And we are in the middle of the ocean. Great. Also, things like water will travel through the TARDIS, and they will break things like carpet. So yeah, that really sucks. Put this carpet back now, and I have no idea where the carpet originally was, so just great. Alrighty. So the Tardis is actually feeling better because we did a flight without what's it called? Without the stabilizers on. If we use the stabilizers, the mood will go down. Yeah. Also, something else I want to show you is a crash landing. So, a crash landing can happen one of four ways, or one of three ways actually. One is either the dimensional, not the dimensional, the dematerialization circuit or the fluid links break, in which case the TARDIS will crash to wherever location is, cause a little explosion, and all the lights will turn red. Also, all these roundels will go from looking this like kind of orangey to turning red. Same thing happens if you run out of fuel mid-flight, and the last but least way to crash land is by hitting the handbrake mid-flight. So by pulling the handbrake down mid-flight, the entire TARDIS will sort of collapse and fall, and it will cause pretty severe damage to all of the systems. Well, a crash landing will always cause damage to the systems. Hitting the handbrake just causes it more. Uh, this is actually this is because sometimes you actually want to crash land. Crash landings also reduce the TARDIS's happiness, but if you want to crash land, there is actually some reasons you want to do that. One is that the door mid-flight has opened and you're actively being sucked into the thing, so you'll actually you won't be able to move. And if you can get to the handbrake or the door switch, you can hit one of them because if you hit the handbrake, you won't be in flight anymore and you won't risk falling into the vortex and dying. So let me just go ahead and show you. Actually, before we do that, let me talk about the three forms of flight. So you already know unstabilized flight, which I just showed you. Now I'm going to show you stabilized flight. So if I grab the stabilizer, I head it down into my engine room over here. And I go ahead and put it in over here. I can go ahead and complete this little Among Us minigame. Take the stabilizers on. And now, if we really want to, I can showcase stabilized flight. In my opinion, this is the more boring version of flight because you have to turn on the blue boringers in the wise words of the doctor. So I can just find the stabilizers. There we go. Stabilizers are activated, and now if I were to hit the handbrake, so let me hold up. Let me just put this at 0. Turn the handbrake on, engage it, randomize the coordinates, and then hit the throttle, and then hit the handbrake. As you can see, the journey is going up. I don't need to do any events. I can just sit back, relax, enjoy some snacks. But as you can see, there are no heart things appearing above the TARDIS. And it auto rematerializes, it will auto land itself, and I am still in the middle of the ocean. I didn't really go anywhere, but my TARDIS is flooded again. How incredible. But I hit the randomizer. How come I'm still in the bottom of the world? Let me show that again with the vertical scanning mode up. Let me go ahead and hit the randomizer multiple times. Why is it? Oh, the door's open. Well, let me just show that again. Engage the handbrake, hit the throttle, and hit the handbrake again. Now, stabilized flight takes double the time. It also takes double the fuel. So I'm still underwater. God, how big this ocean is. But as you can see, if I were to use the bed now, the TARDIS it's feeling ecstatic, but it probably wouldn't be as ecstatic because, of course, we did use the stabilizers. Now there is one more type of flight, and it is called vortex limbo, and it is basically when you have the stabilizers off, and you go ahead and you just kind of fly somewhere. Let's do like not too far, just Should be our target. There's a savannah supposedly. That's cool. Now I'm gonna show you what happens if you cause a crash landing, which is very spooky. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit the handbrake, hit this, take off, and then I'm gonna hit the handbrake again. And yeah, this is not a very pleasant noise. It causes an emergency rematerialization, and as you can tell, yeah, we've crashed. And we've also exposed some iron, which is nice. Get out! But yeah, this causes a crash landing. It causes pretty severe damage to all of the things, and I'm not sure if I can get back in because it's angry with me and it's not letting me in. There we go. As you can see, again, bigger on the inside. And if you want to disable this really scary alarm, all you have to do is go to security, toggle alarm. You can also scan for life signs, and you can turn a force field on. If you have the shield generator, of course. And I'm pretty sure. Yep. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. That's how to land, that's how to fly, that's every single form of travel in the entire game. That's what every control on this interior does. There are many, many more interiors with different things, and you can also even build your own interior with these cool random blocks. Yeah, that is about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, maybe subscribe if you like my content. Comment down below what I can do better. I'm still trying to improve, so if you have any tips or tricks for any new YouTubers, please make sure to drop them down below. That'll be greatly appreciated. Anyways, I'll see you next video, hopefully, and catch you later. Bye.